like you got sick. Was there a moment or a couple of moments where you thought, "Oh shit,"
I
like,
definitely thought for a while, like, if I do get sick with the coronavirus, eh,
meme worthy?
yeah, that's definitely going to draw in a crowd on Twitch, isn't it? Yeah.
I think the first thing I said to you when we were like when you first got sick, I was like, mate, like if you have coronavirus, let's stream it.
Yeah, no, I would have been there for sure, even with a very bad, illness. Um, but my doctor said no, you don't have that. No, he didn't even mention it. I think, thankfully, he didn't mention it. Otherwise, I probably would have started to freak out. He's like, I don't think it's coronavirus. I think I would have just freaked out there and then, to be honest.
So, but you weren't even tested for coronavirus.
No, I was tested for the flu. They have a flu
Okay.
checker. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's really horrible, right? This is the first time I've ever had it. Because in Australia, we don't have the flu like they have here. I think it's due to big density of population
Sure.
mixed with just climate, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what it is,
Yeah.
but something about Japanese flu is horrid. And I've never experienced it in Australia.
Japan has quite an aging population as well. Is that correct?
That's true. That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more
Vulnerable.
deadly and a little bit more scary, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but so when the doctor said we're going to test you for the flu vaccine, he immediately followed up with, "Do you know what it is? Do you know how we test it?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's not a
One
thing you
finger
want
up,
to do."
one finger up the bum.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
always going to be that.
Yeah, please wear a glove this time, doc. No. So, um, when I had they get like a long plastic thing, and he's like, it goes up your nose.
Where's that going?
Yeah. Slow down, doc. You said it wasn't the butt, but
Oh, I mean, drinks first.
buy me dinner. No, but it goes right up your nose, and it goes so far that you
Oh.
feel it in your throat. Now,
Oh
it's
no.
very uncomfortable, mind you. I am not a stranger to this experience. As you know yourself, I've had surgery on my nose to help me clear it up.
Yes.
Even though I
Yeah.
sound like a nasally butthole, I have had surgery on my nose to help open it up and help me breathe. So I've had this experience of having something up my nose. This was a lot more pleasant, mind you, than the big Dr. ENT, the ear, nose, throat doctor's camera that had to go up my nose and down my throat. That was a lot
Oh, I
more.
was just thinking, like, I know you so well, and I've known you for so long that I remember you clicking in your sleep when breathing. When we would have sleepovers,
Yeah.
and you would go like, you would breathe like this. You go, shut up.
See, I didn't know this happened until maybe when I was
I
like
told
18.
you about it.
No, yeah, it would have been like early days of doing sleepovers at people's houses. And yeah, I actually I in my
Yeah.
sleep, right?
Yeah.
Because my mouth
Yeah.
needs to is trying to moisturize is not the right word.
Yeah.
Whatever you call getting
Salivate.
salivate. Thank
Salivate.
you.
Yeah. We got
Uh,
there in the end.
It's trying to salivate to save itself, as far as I can tell. Because I couldn't do that. Because I couldn't breathe through my nose properly. But
Sure.
as it turns out, I've had the surgery now, and then so back to the story. I had the flu checker up my nose in the back of my throat. I'm kind of like, as the
What are
doctor's
they?
shoving it in.
What, are they getting a swab? Are they trying to?
Yeah. So he's getting a swab like right at the back.
What? Like, why do they have to go so invasive?
Because when you don't want to get a finger up your bum, you go up the nose. It's the second best option. That's a medical term. There's a song.
Is it?
There's a
Is
song
it the
actually.
second
Yeah.
best option?
Check the poo, and if it's not the poo, it's the nose poo. That's what they say.
Lovely.
It's a doctorial term. Yeah. A doctorial term. Far out.
Yeah. Good start.
Yeah, I know, right? Fantastic. So I had the flu check. It came back negative for both A and B. Turns out there's two types of viruses, which, I only learnt about when I got here as well. And, yeah, there you go. I didn't have corona. I didn't have flu. It turns out because I've been coughing so bad and I had such a bad throat from coughing that I had acute bronchitis and acute tonsillitis. But Little did the Japanese doctor know that I don't have tonsils. So can you
Yeah,
still get tonsillitis without tonsils? I mean, it's named after the organ that they've removed. I'm not
right, but
sure.
when we were talking over the phone, you said that you coughed so bad that maybe you just inflamed whatever tissue you had left.
Yeah, no, well,
That's
definitely, it was
bad.
definitely that. He mentioned in several times in Japanese, obviously, none of this was in English. He mentioned several times that your throat's sore, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, well, obviously with a sore throat, yeah, it is. And he's like, yeah, that throat looks pretty sore. I'm like, yeah, no, it is. It's like, ooh, that's a very sore throat. I was like, yes, I get it. I get it. Thank you.
Maybe he was just being sympathetic.
Oh, he was trying his best. And God love him, he was very kind. He was very apologetic. He's like, we're going to test for the flu, and I'm sorry. And I was like, ugh, what are you talking about?
But has that ever been... That's not the sort of test that's done here, surely. Like, they
Well,
don't... I haven't heard
I've
of
never
that
had
before.
a flu shot or a flu test in Australia. I'm not sure. Have you? I mean, we've had shots in junior school and high school, middle school.
Yeah.
But not, you know, not a, not
Well, you
not
get you vaccinated. You get your
not
vaccines
adults.
done.
Adults don't get it, right? Like healthy adults wouldn't get a flu shot. It just wouldn't.
Yeah, no, they say to get it. They do. I don't really
Man, I
I'm
live
not
in
a
a shell in
huge fan.
Australia. What the? I've never get my hair washed in Australia. I've
You've
got
never
a
washed your
flu
hair.
I've never washed my hair. I've never had a flu shot in Australia.
Dude,
What?
they have shampoo.
What? Ah, it's crazy. They've got running water out of this kind of nozzle thing in a bathroom. It's very strange here. Oh, I'm not a fan.
You uncultured swine. Well, see, I'm looking here. We've got 4 viewers at the moment. So if anyone is from anywhere around the country who has been tested for the flu anywhere around the world, like, tell us what is the flu test? Because in Japan, apparently it involves either a finger up the bum or a big stick up your nose.
Yeah. Step 1, finger up the bum. Step 2, in your nose with a rubber hose.
The same finger.
This. They don't even
Not good.
wear a glove. It's just normal.
Not
you know?
good.
No, so I don't have
but
coronavirus, thankfully.
At the center, though, like, you would have gone to a health, like a general practitioner,
GP.
sort of. Were there people there, sort of wearing masks and?
I was
appearing
wearing
sick?
a mask. I get into the Japanese. Yeah, here's a mask right here. Here, let me role play.
Come on, demonstrate. Put it on.
I've got big speakers on
Mate,
on my ears.
I've got one as well. Hang on.
Oh, hang on. This isn't gonna work. I've got big headphones on. He's run off. All right. Well, I wore one of these to the clinic just to make sure. And let me just.
This is
here we go.
solidarity, brother.
Yeah, this is for all the corona victims. There we go. You've got one as well. You bend it on the nose, mate. Pinch. He's not got his headphones on. Put your headphones on.
No, I put them on after I put the mask on, mate.
Oh, so you can hear me. What are we even doing with headphones if you can hear me? Mate, someone's going to see the thumbnail on Twitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm
gonna
banking on.
They're going to see 2 guys with face masks on, and they're going to be like, oh,
Well,
something's gone wrong there.
But here's the thing, right? Like, if you do have coronavirus, we don't really understand the full implications of this virus. I could catch this shit digitally.
Oh, mate, you've probably already got some viruses digitally, for sure.
I know. We seriously need to take precautions here, and well, that's exactly what we're doing.
That is what we're doing, and it's working out great. Look at us. We look fantastic.
I love how, like, when I laugh, it sort of looks a bit like a vagina here. Like, it's great.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Maybe this is something that we're just going to have to get used to. You know?
See, this is another thing. I saw a few, because I'm in Asia, so I get a lot more Asian news than I do usually in Australia. And there's a company in Hong Kong. I like that we're just doing this. It's very hot on my face, but this is
it's boiling, isn't it? But
it's
I think
very warm.
We're demonstrating, you know.
It kind of cuts out like 90% of our emotions.
Yeah. We have to smile with our eyes instead of our voices.
It's cute, isn't it? Anyway, there's a company in Hong Kong, I think, maybe Macau, I don't know, one of those southeastern mainland Asian countries, and it's marketing face masks which have like brands on them and stuff, and they sell them as a
It's like a
normal
fashion
life.
statement.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fashion thing
yeah.
now, which is kind of a
So
depressing thought, isn't it?
here's my morally
Oh
ambiguous
shit.
question of the day. Right.
Yeah.
That's too good.
Yes, go on. Yeah,
Morally,
sorry.
morally ambiguous question of the day, right?
Mm,
I have considered
mm.
buying stock
In
in
face
companies that
masks,
sell masks.
mate.
Is that like the same as sort of war profiteering?
Mate, if people are gonna do it, why not you, right?
Well,
Jeez.
because that's the thing. Like, I haven't engineered this virus, right? I haven't caused it, but
So
like,
really,
you
I
know,
can profit on it guilt free.
so exactly. I don't. I'm just taking advantage of the facts. Like, I haven't. Yeah.
No, I've actually in Asia, in China as well as Japan now, there is no face masks
There's nothing,
available.
is
There's
there?
nothing.
No.
I've
No.
only got like one packet left of like 7 or so. So I've got to be very scarcely use them. I've got to
Yeah. See,
scarcely
I've
use them.
I've I've used this one. I don't think you can reuse them.
You're not supposed
So
to. I mean, they're like a day long, but see, I'm breathing. It's very hot. Oh, that's nicer.
yeah, I'm just gonna keep seeing how long I can go with this.
That's all right. All right, we'll stick with it for a bit.
It's product testing,
It
mate.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that you can buy ones that are machine washable, right? But
That's the
they,
N95,
I
N95
don't know the brand.
respirators.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah,
But a lot of these aren't for sickness; they're for pollution. Because obviously China's got a
yeah,
pretty bad pollution problem. So the
yeah,
machine washable ones, from my knowledge, are ppm resistant. I think that's pollution per
yeah. Like
particle something or
dust,
other.
dust, chemical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
China.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I was doing like my research on this kind of stuff because, like, to be honest, this kind of stuff fascinates me, and it's like,
It's
like,
fascinating. It's gonna be the
just
future for sure.
well, just thinking, like, just in case, like, I'd like to be somewhat prepared. And it was like, yeah, paper masks, forget about it. They don't do anything, nothing.
Waste.
You get N95s, they're a bit expensive. These ones are like the best bang for your buck, like the ones that we're wearing at the moment, surgical masks.
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
time that they work for a short amount of time and then you're done. You throw them out.
yeah, they very quickly become saturated. Your face gets all hot and
Oh,
sweaty.
my nose
It's
is itchy and I
horrible.
can't scratch it. Yeah.
Yep. You just went
But,
to take a drink and
when
you
because
couldn't.
your hands kind of transmit most of the diseases. If you've kind of blocked off, you can't get in, You're safe.
I can't even pick my nose with this thing
I
on.
know. Where am I? And if you could pick your nose, you can't then eat it. So
You can't then eat it. Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
win-win, really.
No, hand sanitizer for anyone watching who wants tips. That's what's going to save the world is
That's it.
hand sanitizer.
That's it.
Wash your hands, get some water-free stuff after you go out. You'll
Some-
be
Some water-based hand lotion.
I feel like I have to do a lot of miming with this mask
Why
on. I
don't
don't
we
know
just
why.
always try and have your hands in the shot? All right, how about that?
That's going to get exhausting.
Yeah, no, it is. It's already exhausting. No, this is way too hot for me. I think I'm gonna have to retire it.
You're
Oh.
bowing out.
And
Okay.
So that was my coronavirus scare.
Mm.
So I've just ripped off my face mask and
I'm still scared. As
Yeah.
you can
I'm
tell.
gonna-
No, mate. I'm with
there
you.
you go. Just giving it to you.
It's cooking.
So the biggest fears, from my knowledge, which is very little, is that it is very contagious. And
Hugely.
hugely. Which, most of the viruses have been scares. The bird flu, the swine flu, the Ebolas.
Ebolas.
Yeah. And the, whatever this is called, coronavirus.
So that the official name is COVID
Yeah, it's
COVID-19.
yeah, it's a branch of SARS.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
right?
like so. There's two different names.
It's like
There's
a
the name
neighbor.
for the virus, and then there's a name for the disease that the virus causes. So the disease name is COVID-19,
Okay.
and then the virus name is like SARS N19CoV or
Yeah, whatever
some bullshit.
whatever they have to list it under. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting.
That's fascinating. I love this stuff. I know that's kind of doomer, but
It's going to be more interesting going forward, 10, 20 years when this comes more prevalent, I think.
Like another virus, you reckon?
Yeah, no, I feel like, oh no, there's just going to be more viruses that keep sweeping around, but there's no way this is as threatening as any other virus that's been around. This is like not like the Black Plague. Let's put that as a comparison. The one that wiped out like one third of Europe, right?
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah, no one's going to disagree with you there. It was a bad one.
The
And
understatement of the millennium.
the only issue why this is bad, for the rest of the world is that it's easily accessible. As in, we can fly places more often. We can have the news media more often. And people are freaking out.
That's the thing. The world is a much smaller place if you think about it. But it's also a much cleaner place than it used to be, by and large.
For sure, like 100 times better than. Those people that would rather be like soldiers and knights back in medieval times? Nah, because chances are you're probably a peasant. You're probably one of them.
Well, being a knights were sort of highborn, so you could, not you couldn't. I don't think anyone could be a knight.
You couldn't grow into one. You couldn't get promoted. You were born into the family of royalty, so that doesn't
being a
sound
knight
right.
would have been okay.
Yeah, but then you die a lot.
Yeah, but it's better than being born a peasant, surely.
Oh, for sure. When your lifespan was a max of 30 years. No, that sounds awful.
On a good day.
Yeah. God, mate, you know what? We should definitely do some sort of... We should find something that's like, how long would you survive, right? And I'd read off a list of questions, and then you can choose, like, what path you would take. And then,
I like this
after
idea.
it sounds great now I'm saying it. It's going to be a pain in the ass to make, I'll tell you that much. Right? So I'd say, like, there's a cabbage in the ground that's no one's around. Do you want to take it or not? And you'd be like, yeah, fucking... Well, actually, what would you say? What would you say? What would you say?
Yeah, fuck it.
And a night caught you and you're dead. Well done. You survived 2 days.
It sounds like our own version of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Without any like rolls for saving, Oh, you're not dead. You're in jail, but you've got 4 parasites living inside you and a brain disease. So you're dead in 2 days.
That's a great day. It's better than last week.
4 days. New high score. 4 days. God. Well, we should try and plan something like that out. That would be quite fun to listen to, I think.
Yeah, I'm keen to see sort of what direction this podcast will eventually go into.
It's wherever we want. That's the best part.
Yeah,
I'm excited as well, to be honest. It's
what a great.
Like, as I was saying to you a couple of weeks ago now, like, we've tried other aspects. We've tried public radio. We've tried doing podcasts on Facebook,
By YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube back in the day, but we didn't have the equipment or the the commitment either. The equipment and the commitment we didn't have.
Yeah, but we did have an entire radio studio at one point.
Well, yeah, no, we committed to that, didn't we? We went nearly every single day.
Yeah,
and we did pretty good, I would say. The biggest issue was that the audience of our local radio station was not interested in what we had to say.
Nah, they were sort of, like pensioners and
older people that weren't interested in the best looking, funniest people in the local area.
So, mate, I'm just looking at my Steam
at
the moment.
Yeah.
To cut The Forest, 19 hours in. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, I'm feeling keen. I'm keen to
try. I want to talk about our experience so far with the game.
So, The Forest. I've played a lot of survival games. Like my whole life, but the big ones are like Subnautica. That was a good single player experience. I played the Below Zero, which is Subnautica 2. I've played Green Hell, which is another survival game. What else? I got to open up Steam just to have a look at the library.
My experience is pretty much limited to DayZ.
Yeah,
a couple 100 hours in that game, fair enough. But there's not really much crafting. I mean, you can craft, but it's a nightmare.
It's not a big thing, yeah. So I like the crafting idea of games. I like that a lot.
Crafting's good. Yeah,
Crafting's fun.
Raft was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we'd definitely go back to that soon. Just to
Yeah.
finish it off. There's a lot to do, but we haven't done any of it.
You can finish that game
No,
apparently. Like
it's
there's a
not
full
finished
story.
yet, is it? It's not in release, I think.
No,
It's still
no.
early access, old Rafty. But in saying that, they've just released a Beehive update. There is some islands that we can get to, but it just feels a little bit too grindy at the moment.
It's very grindy. Yeah.
Like we can't seem to save up enough to just do stuff, you know? It's
You
always,
talking
I need to cook,
food?
I need water, I need to do this, I need
Yeah.
to do that.
No, I don't know. I think well, I watched our last stream of that game, and I think we had a pretty good system running at that point.
Mm.
Definitely lots
Yeah.
of gathering,
I think maybe
and
we stopped a little bit early, but
yeah,
definitely be able to pick it up and continue, which is the great part about the game,
yeah.
is to be able to pick
Uh,
it up and continue. What are your
uh,
thoughts on it?
Raft or forest,
Forest.
mate? I love it. I
Mm.
honestly didn't expect to love it this much. I think it's a lot of fun.
Mm.
Um, and the thing that I, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion because it's quite an old game. It was released in 2014.
This is an old one, isn't it?
It was in alpha for quite a long time. But I can just by the amount of people that we've interacted with while we're playing it, it's quite a
It's still
people
got an
see it on
audience, doesn't it?
stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, massively. People see it on Twitch.
Yeah.
And we've had several, at least 3 or 4 or 5, even 5 people, which, for us as starting channels is pretty big.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Join in. Last week we had, Peachy, shout out. She gave us massive tips.
Yeah.
Week before that we had Solo Dad Gaming. He was awesome. We had Mayan. I think it was another guy called Rusty Bucket or something.
We've had a lot of people join in just from all over the world too, which is the weirdest part.
It's been fun.
Obviously,
England, Indonesia, Japan.
we've had Italy,
Italy, Canada,
Boston.
uh,
Just to be way more specific than every other part.
a country in its own right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been really nice to so hang on. So you're new to streaming. I've done it for like maybe 4, 5, 6 months.
6 months.
On
easy.
Not on and
On
off.
and off.
Like just on.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I've done it for like 6 to 7 months on and off, give or take. But I've tried to do it somewhat regularly, at least once a week, twice a week, for the last 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
What's your experience coming to the game? What was your expectations?
Coming to streaming?
Coming to Twitch, the platform, to streaming, to playing online for other people to watch, and then what was your what was different from your expectations to what is happening, and we'll start
Here's
there.
Here's the thing. Like I've always, ever since we watched Yogg's Cast on YouTube way back in the day, I've always considered doing it. It's probably not something that streaming is probably not something at this stage that I'm willing to put heaps of hours into. Like to me, streaming enhances my gaming experience.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed. There's been times in the past when I've been playing a game completely solo, no audience, nothing, and like something funny has happened, or I talk to myself quite a lot anyway while I'm playing games, especially like strategy, and like I'll say something and I'll think, oh, that was quite witty, like that was quite clever. That probably would have gone down well in a stream, and then honestly, like it just took off because for my birthday, which was in January, I asked for the basic equipment that I need, camera, microphone, and then I learnt very quickly the basics of OBS, which is the program that you use to get streaming off the go, and I've enjoyed it so much. I love it. I absolutely love it.
No, I'm very much the same. I kind of went into this. So to begin with, I went into this because I've always wanted to, ever since I think probably Yogg's Cast in the early days. And I don't watch them anymore, but the early days Yogg's Cast, the Yogg Pod,
Sips.
Sips is a big one.
Sips, the OG.
It's still going now. Streams mostly, but fucking great.
Love him. Love him.
But just that classic stuff back in the golden era of YouTube, when it was quite easy if you had
Yeah.
the internet, which we did not, and if
Yeah.
you had the computer, which we did not, to be able to
Yeah.
do any of this. And the know-how, I think that's a big one, you know. Even if you had the equipment, you still needed to know. It was a lot harder back then. There was less easy programs like OBS, like there was
Yeah.
Fraps, which was a screen recording software, which would just capture everything on your screen, which is not always
Yeah.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, going from back then, I was like, man, I'd love to make a living creating content. And then going through high school and meeting you in grade 9, specifically on that train, but if we're
the
going
the
specifics,
first shit talk.
that's right. And then going into you know, I'd like to do it some sort of entertainment / educational content creation. And I still don't know what I'm going to do specifically, but probably Japanese based for educational, and then just talking shit with you would be great for entertainment. And then moving forward to, you know, I did attempt it at one stage, and I just didn't have the internet to stream, and then I kind of got crushed a little bit, and you know, you get salty after that first defeat.
Yeah, you do.
And I was young, so you don't really push through it as I am now, you know. And so you go into it again nowadays when we're a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit dumber, and we kind of sat into this, you know what, fuck it, we'll just keep going, we'll just keep on keeping on.
Just keep going. Trial and error, mate.
Trial and error, and fuck me, we're doing the best we can with what we got. But no, I would love to be able to do work from home, be my own boss.
Yeah,
and I think that's
I know you're massively into that.
Yeah.
I admire that about you hugely. Personally, for me, like this sort of kind of stuff, and this might change, it might well change, but for me, I'm using this software and this hardware to enhance aspects of my life that I already really love. So, like I said to you before, like you live in Japan now, you're thousands of kilometers away from me, and it's hard sometimes to maintain a friendship like that. But I honestly believe nowadays, since we've started streaming and doing this, I see more of you.
I know.
Than I used
when I live like 20, 30 minutes away from you. It's crazy, right? It's fucking crazy.
And just like I love to share. Like I love the idea.
It is nice. It is nice to share that experience, you know? with not just you, but with other people.
Not just you. No. So like playing a game, you know, just playing like Age of Empires or you know, I'm planning on streaming The Witcher and stuff, and like I get to share my experience, and it's like to me, a stranger watching that is just like, yeah, I dig what this guy's doing. Like I love that. Like I
think it's great.
That's great.
And I think that's a healthy mindset to have. So not go in with this, I want it as a job, but to go in with you know, doing it as a not a hobby, but almost as a hobby, to enjoy it rather than to aim for something else. You know, I think that's a very healthy outlook, and that's what you need to have on Twitch. Because there's so much bullshit on Twitch. I'm sure you've gone through it.
Kidding.
And, you know, we might be one of those bullshit channels for a lot of people, but maybe for one or two people are going to join us and go, yeah, all right, this guy says some good points. They're not just stupid bogan-sounding Australians, which, you know, I can understand.
I mean, we'll do our best.
But, yeah, so next, you know, we're going to move into the forest soon. But
yeah, keen.
What would you want to play in? What would be your like ideal game? What's your, you know, what's your game type genre?
For streaming or
just what do you like? What do you like?
Oh man. Well, I think it's actually an easy question to answer. What don't I like?
Okay. That's good. I like that. That's a lot nicer.
So I'm not a huge fan of third person.
Okay.
I just I struggle, and I know like the Witcher will probably be an exception to that. But for me the difference between first and third person is astronomical. I really enjoy. Yeah, I really enjoy. Basically, I love games that test and break boundaries of what games are supposed to be able to do. So, for example, Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Star Citizen, it's a controversial game, and so it should be. It's been in release since like 2011. You know, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
But I guarantee if anyone looked at Star Citizen and the way it is nowadays, you'd get it. Like that is a game that literally allows you to live out your ultimate fantasy of just being a space traveler.
Yeah.
And there's, like in other games that's been a space traveler, there's been like, yeah, it's been fun at its base, but there's been restrictions like, I can't walk around my ship while it's in transit, or man, like I can't fly down to that planet. I have to load into that planet, or I have to load into that thing, or hey, I've landed at the space station. There's nothing here. Looking at you, No Man's Sky. Like, Star Citizen, it's not quite there yet, but like I cannot wait to start streaming that properly. I've taken a few months off.
Yeah.
Because it is a frustrating game. Like, it's buggy as all hell.
Yeah.
But technically, from a technical standpoint, the things that those guys have done, mind-boggling.
Yeah. If you are listening, what kind of game, or why wouldn't you be interested in Star Citizen? I think that's a better question. What aren't you into is a easier question to answer, because people can think of what they're not into instantly. What they are into is kind of like, what's your favorite song? It's like, oh, there's so many. Or what's your favorite movie? It's like, one that always comes to mind because it's easy to answer is Shrek, because that was fucking great. It's so nostalgic, right? And like, what movies don't you like? It's like 90% of fucking rom-coms. I just don't dig them. They're too cheesy.
Literally.
They make me weep at the eyes. I'm not happy with that. I want to keep my composure. But,
I always say to my girlfriend, I'm like, why would you watch a sad film? What does that do for you?
Oh, it just makes me depressed. Yeah.
The response that I get is like, oh, well, sometimes you need to, like, sometimes if you're sad, it's good to let go of your emotions. I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't it just be easier and better to laugh?
Yeah.
So that's why you watch Shrek. I get what she's saying.
I like how you just went to Shrek.
Shrek is just a better film, and it's got romance.
And yeah, it's got everything. It's got fucking Eddie Murphy. It's got Austin Powers. I know that's not his name, but I like calling him that. Mike Myers. It's got fucking amazing actors in it, and it's well animated. It's gonna hold up forever. That's the best part about it.
Good script, good jokes,
yeah,
good everything.
And that's why
Shrek.
It's the best movie in the world.
Speaking of good movies, good segue. Parasite. Have you seen it?
Parasite. Hang on a second.
It won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture.
That's right. The Korean movie that no one wants to be Korean.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a Korean movie, right?
It is a Korean movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No,
Good
I
film.
heard it
Good
won
flick.
something, and people were super happy with it. 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, 96 on Metacritic.
Best Picture, mate. It's the first foreign film ever that got Best Picture at the Oscars.
Yeah, that's why the Oscars are racist. No, I've heard very good things about it. I haven't watched it. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch for sure. I'm a big fan. I think the Koreans are really going to make a good segue into the movie industry. They've put out some bangers lately. And
Train to Busan?
Train to Busan. That was a fucking banger, right?
I knew that's where you were going.
Movie.
Good zombie flick.
There's a second one coming out. There's a fucking sequel.
Oh, there is?
There's a sequel. It's not called Train to Busan 2. It's called, like, the Paradise Island.
Bus to Busan.
Well, it's a lot slower and there's more zombies catching up.
Slow ferry ride to Busan.
It's Paradise Island or something along that, where after the outbreak they come back to an island and they find survivors, something like that, which is exciting. I'm very excited to find out whatever happens next in this.
What?
They're scary zombies too. That's the best part.
Asian zombies, and I hope this doesn't sound racist. They're kind of scary.
They're very scary.
I mean, normal zombies are scary, but like I don't know.
I think the rage virus zombies, they're always the scary ones, right?
Mate,
so the 28 days later, the 28 weeks, mate. Fuck, we should totally do a segment on this podcast. Just watch one zombie movie a week and then just talk about it on this, like, for 10 minutes.
I would be down with that. Zombies is one of my favorite genres.
I fucking love it. All right, let's do that. Let's do that for our podcast.
Done.
Next
Done.
This week, going forward.
Are we going to pick the same one?
We'll pick the same one together, and then we'll both write down some notes and critiques. And
all right.
Or if you just found it to be an absolute banger, just say that 20 times throughout the whole thing.
There was one that we watched that was actually quite good. I think it was City of the Dead or Land of the Dead, when they've got that city, and there's
Mate, That's something I would do. Is just say it's that city zombie movie with cities and zombies. Do you know that one? Come on, mate. You gotta help me out here.
there's like a bus in it or a tank, and it's called Dead Reckoning.
It's called Dead Reckoning. I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
like a zombie movie. I'll give you that.
We watched it. I swear we did.
Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
Zombie movie. Here it. I've just googled Dead Reckoning zombie movie. Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead. Knew it.
Yeah, no, that's a classic. That's by George A. Romano. Yeah, that's one of the classic zombie ones. That is a good one though. Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes.
I'd be keen to watch that again because I haven't seen that in a long time.
They did make a revamp of that. Land of the Dead in 2017 or something.
I bet it's rubbish.
It's
Zombie films are a challenging genre.
2019. No, it couldn't be that. The latest Nigerian movie. I don't think it's that one that I'm thinking of. Land of the Dead remake.
The Twitch titles, like, can you put profanity in the title? I don't think you can.
No, I don't think so. They want us. The Land of the Dead. I thought they made one. Maybe it's something else. They made a remake. Does anyone? What are you arguing now? Diddy King 2007. We're arguing.
Diddy
about
King.
What zombie movie we're going to watch in this coming week?
Haven't seen Diddy King on for ages, mate. How are you? Shout out.
Diddy King, thanks for joining us. Thank you very much. I just wanted to see you. Oh, that's nice of you. Thank you.
That's very cute. Thank you, Diddy King.
If I can recommend a TV series, which is a lot more to watch, but it's phenomenal. It's a Korean zombie flick. It's set in medieval Korea.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Kingdom.
What's it?
Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Oh, fucking
Is
Sweet
it?
Chili
Okay.
Philly's already fucking nailed out the answer. Thanks. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, Kingdom.
He's on it.
Mate,
He's on it.
Phil, have you watched Kingdom? Because
He has.
I've big fan of
it. I've seen like a couple of episodes in the background. And I thought, oh, this looks pretty good.
Oh, bye-bye, Diddy King. He's leaving now.
Smoke cloud.
Very, very good. Okay, Sweet Chili Philly, I know you're a big movie fan. What is your next zombie flick recommendation? I know that's kind of a niche genre, especially nowadays.
It is very niche, yeah.
A lot of people avoid zombies because there's a lot of shit movies, and I have been watching a lot of them lately. But yeah, we're gonna do that, John. It doesn't matter when you watch it throughout the week, but you gotta watch one a week. All right, buddy.
All right, mate. I can do that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Good content.
Homework, you know.
Yeah. So we can make a zombie background while we talk about it. We'll figure something out.
Did we want to maybe think about launching into the forest?
Yeah, we can start doing